Erev Tov, everybody. Good evening. Before I begin, I was asked to dedicate today's shiur for רפואה שלמה, לכבוד המקראת בריס בן שרה, אב השיר הבת יהודית חידה, וגם פני הפני הבת ביתי בתיה. אין לה לפניהם בתוך שאנחנו למויסר, אמן. הקדוש ברוך הוא שיעשנו רפואה שלמה to the rest of Klal Yisrael, and of course, השיעור בשביל נשמת כל הנפטרים. So before we begin, of course, we have to say words of Akarat Tov to the Rav, who, Baruch Hashem, this is his place, this is where he stands, and that, if I wasn't nervous already, I'm schwitzing now, knowing that my Rav is on the other side now. And Baruch Hashem, it's an honor to be here. A disclaimer, I'm not used to speaking to ladies, believe it or not, but the Rav and I both felt that this is something that has to be done. The way that the community is going, we feel like, it's now or never. We need to raise our voices and to give the ladies of our community, the leaders of the next generation, a push to understand exactly what their role is in Klal Yisrael. But again, I also owe a lot of Akarat Tov to all of you for showing up. I know it's not easy on the school night to leave your children, to leave your husband, to leave everything else that you have going on. I'm sure you're exhausted after a very long day, and I'm sorry to make you come out. But being Jewish is not easy, as they say. So that's why we're here. And also, my Rebbitzin asked personally to apologize to all the girls that know her, that were looking forward to seeing her. She's a little under the weather, but of course she deserves the biggest support, because without her support, I wouldn't be standing here. So definitely a big refuah shlema to my wife, and B'ezrat Hashem, she should join me all the shiurim to come. Importance of a Jewish wife. It's a very, very nice topic. I actually, believe it or not, a husband texted me right before I walked in. He said, Rabbi, what is the context of the class? I said, what is your business? I'm not talking to you. He said, no, I want to know. What is it? Tell me. I said, truth be told, this is a shiur that can break up into 10 parts, because there's so much to speak about. It's it's not justice to speak about this beautiful topic within a short span of time, especially since the evening is divided between the Rav and myself. So we'll try not to bore you, this from my end. But it's a very big topic. And it's one that when I'm asked to speak to ladies, this is the topic that I always say that should be spoken to, because you cannot start anywhere, not Shalom Bayit, not Chinuch Yeladim, nothing, without knowing what your role as a woman in Klal Yisrael is. Looking back when I first started off working with the community, this is going back a little over 10 years, where we were there and where we are now, two different generations. When I started off working with the young couples in the community with my wife, I had one perspective. After 7 years now, everything changed. And I always thought that the ones who deserved the baseball bat over the head are the husbands. But little did I come to understand that really we should be talking to the ladies. Because you can have a beautiful Porsche, you can have a beautiful Lamborghini, you can have the nicest car, but if it doesn't have the engine, it's not going anywhere. And the women are the engine of the husband, they're the engine of the family, they're the engine of anything good that comes out from a home. That is the woman. She's the engine of the house. And I got to tell you, ladies, I think that the challenges of this generation, I'm not talking about men, the women's challenges in this generation are practically not fair. What they're up against, what they have to match up with, in every sense of that word, it's not fair. It's very difficult. And the ones that can make it out are the true heroes of Klal Yisrael. We have a long day. We wake up in the morning, talking about the ladies now. The first thing that's on your mind is, I got to take care of the big baby, which is the husband, and then everybody else that follows suit. You got to get them ready. You got to get breakfast ready. You got to make sure everyone is dressed, everyone this and that. I don't have to tell you. And how many mothers, I remember working in Sharet Zion for quite a while, and I remember them telling me, my son will never step foot on the bus. I said, why not? I want my son to come home not missing a limb. And therefore, not because of Sharetzion, because any yeshiva. Okay? You should see what the other yeshiva buses look like. Ours is pretty good. And I said to them, I said, wow, Be'emet, I said, it calls a lot of Mesirut Nefesh from your end. She goes, I know, I'm ready for it. I know that it means I have to leave work early to pick him up from school. I know my husband has to leave work early. But most of the time, it's mommy doing the heavy lifting because Abba is in shul, Abba is at work, Abba's learning, and mommy is doing the heavy lifting. So when do you have time to think about your role in Klal Yisrael? Because for most women, when you speak to them, they're describing you a life of a cleaning lady or a nanny. They're not describing to you a life of a Saha Imenu or a leader of Klal Yisrael. They're not. They're describing to you how much like Guadalupe who works in your house on Fridays, Erev Shabbos, Anna, her. That's exactly who they're describing to you. Okay. But then you start to see the ripple effect of what was going on in the community. If the wife is busy being a nanny and a cleaning lady and a shmata, when does she have time to be the rebbetzin that she was supposed to be? When does she have time to make something out of this guy she promised him, I'm going to make something out of you? I like to always tell my chatanim when they come to my office with the kalot, because I try with every chatan and kala, I tell them that you should know. Tell the guy, I said, you're the gardener and she is the princess in the palace. And if I'm not mistaken, the Rav gave me this analogy many, many years ago. And the king did a favor to this gardener who was trimming the grass, that he gave his princess to him. So she took him as a gardener, and now she has to make him as the next person in line once her father's time of reign is over. That's it. But what happens? He ends up being the gardener, and she many times goes from being the gardener to the lady who works in the kitchen. I mean, from being the princess to being the lady that works in the kitchen. That's not the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu coded this world to be. So I think tonight, the goal of the shiur, and the Rav has his medicine, I'm giving you my medicine, and that is to help you ladies identify your role in this world. What are you supposed to do? So by the time we leave tonight, already starting tonight, you're already going to start drawing up a plan how tomorrow morning is going to look like, how your whole life is going to look like. Be'ezrat Hashem, hopefully we can accomplish it in the short time that we have. There's a Gemara, Masechet Brachot, Daf Yud Zayin, Amud Aleph. The Gemara says, "Gedola haftacha she'iftichan HaKadosh Baruch Hu lenashim yoter min ha'anashim." The promise that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has given the ladies is far greater than the one that He has given to men. What's this promise? The Gemara is going to ask, Nashim b'may zachyan, what did the ladies do that they deserve this special promise from HaKadosh Baruch Hu? What do they do? If you look at the way things are working out every single day, the guy gets up early in the morning, he's running to nets, or he's running for shacharit. After shacharit, his rabbi pulls him by the ear and says, sit down, you're not going to work, you're learning 15 minutes with me. Okay, he does the rabbi a favor, he learns 15 minutes. Then he goes quickly, takes a bagel to go, he rushes to work. And at work, he has to remember, he has to be careful with his clients, he cannot cheat in business, he has all these different halachot, or if he's in kollel, then he's all day learning. And then he has to catch mincha and aravit, and he has a night class, and he has to be there for his kids. Shalom bayit. So many mitzvot, so many obligations. Yes, yet the Gemara says, the promise that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave the woman for the reward that is waiting for them is greater than the men. How? Men are obligated in many more mitzvot than women are. Why are we giving so much credit to the ladies when the man is the one that hustles every single day? Now, ladies are also obligated in Talmud Torah. Not as much as we are, yes. They have to know the halachot that are pertaining to them. I tell my guys, when they call me, Rabbi, is this restaurant reliable? I said, when was the last time you asked if your kitchen is reliable? What do you mean? I said, the best mashgicha in the world should be your wife. Because at the end of the day, you left the whole house to her. So whatever goes into your mouth, into the mouth of your children, it's under her hashgacha. I go, so you're right, I never thought about it. Now, I said, I don't mean to cause problems. But the point is, we need to start having more classes. We need to start educating the mass. So now, the question remains, why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu bless? Why is He holding a special blessing for the woman a promise that he doesn't give to the men. The Gemara answers the question. Nashim b'may zachyan. The Gemara goes on to explain that they send their children to yeshiva every single day, right? They send the kids to yeshiva every day, and they wait for the husbands to come back from learning at night, from the yeshiva. Now, mind you, when they wrote this Gemara, it wasn't that you were going to Rabbi Haimoff's yeshiva and you lived on 70th Avenue. No. You would get on a horse and buggy and travel for an hour and a half just to get to night kollel. And then it would take him an hour and a half to come back after the Gemara shir, back at 11:30, 12 a.m. At night, he's back home. And the wife would wait for him. Today, the husband runs in at 9:46, promised her 9:45. She says, I'm off to bed. He says, I tried. I even skipped Aravit for you. No, I'm going to sleep. I'm sorry. I can't do this every night. You're coming home late. Now, that's after he came home and he had dinner with her like the way it should be. Then he went to class. But she didn't wait for him. And that does a lot. She goes, oh, if she's not excited for me after I come back from learning, I don't need this. Women forget that men are also human beings. They also need encouragement, and they also need to be, caressed, and they need to be gentle with. Girls forget that. Men are big babies. They will never say that to you, but they're big babies. They need sometimes love more than the woman need it. That's the way it is, at least in our generation. So they say in the morning to their kids, Yanko, Moshe, have a wonderful day in yeshiva. Mommy's will be waiting for you with your cookies when you come back home. The kids go off to yeshiva. They're so pumped for that. They get the reward. She could have easily sent them to public school, but she didn't. She said, go learn Torah. And number two, she sends her husband to learn, and she waits for him. The Gemara didn't have to say this extra word. Mashma, it's a very big deal when a husband comes home and he finds his wife only a cup of tea and saying, Ana Tzadik, can I kiss your hand? Because girls don't understand what it takes after a long day for a man to stand on his feet or to drive, to stay in traffic, to still come to class and to still use the last 2% that he has left, okay, of paying attention for the rabbi. And the rabbi will tell you, over the years, him and I could tell you. You see guys falling asleep at the table. They're exhausted. They wake up earlier than I do sometimes. That's how much they fight for money. They get up early in the morning. They come at class, they're already falling asleep. You know what they do? They get up and they hold on to the chair, so the chair will be their support, so they don't fall asleep. Now the wives don't see this. They say, Anna, again, he escaped family duties. That's what you think. But he's suffering in class right now, bending over. So when he comes home and she gives him the red carpet treatment, he says, I like this. And the rabbi will speak about it more. I'm not going to take it away from him. But for that, the Gemara says, call the ladies. For that, they deserve all the credit in the world, because they send the kids and their husbands to learn. The Ben Ish Chai writes on this Gemara. He tries to explain now a little bit, what is this Haftacha Gedolah? What's this big promise that Hashem is giving the ladies that we men don't get? You take a guy who lived, let's say, 85 years, 90 years. His time in this world expires. He gets to the next world. He comes inside. He says, okay, I'm ready. They say, ready for what? I'm ready to join. Where's my reward? I say, well, first, Habibi, we have to test you. Now he gets up in front of the whole yeshiva shemala, all avlot, everybody's watching, and they start to test him on the whole Torah. Okay? If he passes, he passes. Doesn't pass, no, miskin. Let's say, by some chance, he gets into Gan Eden. He sits down by a table. He says, this is gibberish for me. I'll go to the next table. Goes to the next table, they're learning Gemara. He says, excuse me, what are you learning? They say, oh, we're learning the Talmud. Oh, I don't understand anything. He says, oh, down there, you skip every Gemara class in the world. What do you think? You think you're going to get it here now? The way you are down there, that's the way you're going to be treated up there. Whatever class and topic you were picky about, that's going to be the same way with you. Midah keneged midah. So this guy, like a beggar, goes from table to table looking for a group to welcome him in. The ladies, on the other hand, Ben Ish Chai says, they have a different cheshbon with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Lo aleinu, we should never see this, but we hear from time to time that mothers sometimes have to lo aleinu bury their little ones way before their time, right? Unfortunately, this is the way of the world. The kids that never made it out to this world, kids that were very young, that passed away before they had a chance to taste the sweetness of the Torah. There's a time every single day, the Ben Ish Chai says, every time there's a moment of the day that Hashem sits down with these nishamot and he learns Torah with them. He sits down with these nishamot that never got a chance to learn. Only the Ben Ish Chai can say this. He sits them all down and he says, okay, Aleph, Bet, Gimel, and the whole 9 yards. And they go on for the Chumash, and Rashi, and Poskim, and Tanakh, and throughout the whole Torah, with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Ben Ish Chai says, there's another group that Hashem also does the same way. That's the ladies. Why? Hashem, me, I put in countless hours. I can't learn with you one-on-one. Hashem says, no. Because the woman, she's busy all day doing what? Taking care of the house. When the kids come back from yeshiva, what's the first thing she does? Jonah, here's the cookie I promised you. Come, Jonah, let me feed you. She feeds her husband, sends her back out to learn. She's constantly making sure that the family is constantly revolving around Torah and mitzvot. So she has no time for her own personal growth. Hashem says, I see that. I see that pain. Don't worry. I'm writing everything down. Comes the time, I will pay you back myself, Hashem says. I will sit with you and tell you. What else can be better than to live with Hashem one-on-one? Now again, I'm not saying that we should wait till 120. Women can learn in this world as well. We can make a time. We'll have to, talk to the husband to be better babysitters, or to hire expert babysitters to have ladies learn as well, because it's very important. Because as I mentioned right now, each one of you is in charge of your kitchen. On a daily basis, we have questions. I use my dairy spoon, my meat spoon, this spoon, this microwave, that microwave. And the same lady asked you 500 times already the same question. And yet, you answer her. Because you know that she's responsible for all the 10 neshamot that are in her house now. She's hosting 40 people this Shabbat. If you don't answer her, they're on my shoulders. So we see there's so many laws. Tahat HaMishpacha, Tzniut, Shabbat, Chalak, so many halachot. So we don't need to wait till next world. But you could see from here how special the women are. That Hashem has this, private account with them that even the men don't have. It takes a wise woman to be able to understand her role in this world. Right now we're in this kufa of the Omer, and no music. We remember the Talmidim of Rabbi Akiva and the whole story of Rabbi Akiva. And no matter how much you tell the story over, it inspires you every single time. And what inspires you, I think, even more is the self-sacrifice of his wife Rachel. She was able to go and leave her father's palace, where she was disowned by her father for taking on Akiva, who was at the time in Ama'aretz, did not know anything, but she saw potential in him. And when I talk to girls that are in the dating world, many of them sound like Rachel. Rabbi, he has so much potential. Very nice. And if anybody here is not married, let me just give you a word of advice. People do not change. They're not getting married to change. If they change, they did you a favor, but they're not looking to change. It's always like I heard once, I'm not sure where I heard this from, but men think that the girls will never change, and the girls do change. And the girls think the guys will change, and the guys don't change. That's how it is. Think about it. Right? Take a moment, let it seep in, okay? Let it marinate. And you say, oh, yeah, makes sense. So when these girls tell me that, Rabbi has potential, but Rachel did it. But you're not Rachel. Sorry. Do you possess the tools? Or the guy called me to say, Rabbi, she has so much potential. She told me she'll do this and that. Do me a favor. If she's not practicing it, and if you're not practicing it, forget about it. If you don't know how to do kiruv, don't get into it. It's not for you. But Rachel was able to see the beauty of Akiva, even behind all that shmutz that he portrayed to be. And the Gemara speaks about who he was before he became Rabbi Akiva. Her Mesirut Nefesh, not to see her husband for 24 years. That's what it is. Husband's 24 minutes late. She gives him hell on earth. Forget about it. The first thing he meets when he comes home is a skavarotka, or a stick, or at the back of her head. That's it. I'm not talking to you. Or the best one, the phone. That's it. That's equivalent to the skavarotka over the head. When she has the phone in her hand, you know you lost her for 4 hours. That's it. And it's the same woman that tell me, Rabbi, he's always on his phone. You get off the phone. You get off the phone, you get off the phone also. So Rabbi Akiva's wife was able to understand, I know what I have to do. I know my role in this world. And she knew that for the schar of pushing a husband to learn what her olam haba is going to look like. And when her husband came back with 24,000 students, what did he say? Shali v'shalachem shalachim. Everything that I have, all that my students have, it's because of my wife. She's the only one. Meaning everything your husbands and kids will become, you take the credit for it. Society teaches you otherwise today. If you don't have a college degree, you're zilch. If you don't own a business, you're zilch. That's what it is. If you don't have an Instagram account selling stuff, you didn't make it in this business world. You normal? I'm a mother. I run this house. I'm the queen. That's a full-time job. But even the goyim, look how they treat their queen. Oh, the queen. Everybody stands kafka in line. That's the way it should be at home. Mommy walks in. But the problem is that we forgot our role. We think that our role is to be a nanny and it's to be a cleaning lady, which I'm not saying that we should not be there for our husbands and our families and take care of them. I'm not saying that. But don't make that your goal in life, that this is what I'm supposed to become. Like my mother, my grandmother, my great-grandmother. No. Aim higher, strive higher, be something more. Based on this Gemara, why wouldn't you? Look at the reward. Look how great the Gemara is speaking out for women. They're worried about the feminist movement. And we all said all of that here. We said we don't need you guys to make our women great. We know our women are great. And we're going to prove that once again right now. Pashat Yitro Moshe Rabbeinu is told by HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you need to go down and teach Klal Yisrael Torah. But look at the wording of the pasuk, and you tell me if it makes sense based on what we said up until now. He tells him, Ko tomar lebet Yaakov. You shall say this, so shall you say to the house of Yaakov, v'taged lebnei Yisrael, and you shall tell to the sons of Israel. Right away, Rashi HaKadosh jumps on the spot. He says, I don't get it. Why are you changing the Lashon? Why are you telling me, say to the ladies and tell to the men? Why are you not keeping it the same text, the same way of expression? And Rashi answers over there, because when you're talking to ladies, you have to be very gentle. Yeah, be very kind and very respectful. That's what, for me, this is a lot of pressure. I talk to guys all the time, and the way I talk to them, I can't talk to you. So it's a lot of pressure to be very gentle, don't offend anybody, careful, feminist movement, careful, all the different, cancel cultures that they have today. So I have to be very careful, especially I'm on video. So anyways, she's telling us, women, be careful. Moshe Rabbeinu, be careful. With the woman, you have to be very, very gentle. And then with the men, again, you give it him over the head. You, guys, sit down, learn. Rip on the guy. Scare him from today to tomorrow. But the woman, take it easy. But there are different answers as to why Hashem felt that it was proper to tell Moshe Rabbeinu, go speak to the ladies first. Why go speak to the ladies first? So we're going to offer 4 answers. The first one, before we get the answer, the question should again be, like I mentioned in the beginning of the class, if we're obligated more than you ladies are, no disrespect, why don't we come first? Why did Moshe Rabbeinu not come down, give a class to all the men first, and then save the small little mini series for the ladies? Let's go down to the ladies first. Answer number 1. And this I saw with my own eyes, I still see with my own eyes. When women perform mitzvot, they do it far better than men do. From the depth of their heart, full-heartedly they do it. Now comes, puts on tefillin, it's autopilot. You look at his life support. That's what it looks like when it comes to shul. The woman, you see them at the holiday event. It's like she's imagining her enemy's face as she's going into that door. Mamash, such kef, such kaif. When they daven, look at them down, look at them shuckling, look at them cry. It's amazing. And by us, we do it just to get by. So the woman, number 1 answer, Hashem was telling Moshe Rabbeinu, they do it better. Go to them first. Give shit inspiration with the ladies first. The Gemara says, number 2, what was the great zechut? Why Klal Yisrael were merited to leave Mitzrayim? Because of the woman, the righteous woman. Chazal explains, because of their tzniut, because of their modesty, Hashem says that's so.
Haya, please mute yourself.
Okay.
Sorry, Rabbi.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So the men didn't have any zechut. So he said, let's turn to the ladies. Let's turn to the ladies Let's figure out what they're doing. And they saw the tzniut of the woman. You know, to be in such a perverted country, such as Mitzrayim. Hey, you think America's perverted? You think we're so culturally messed up? You have no idea how bad it was in Mitzrayim. How bad, in the streets they were doing their averot, walking around, no busha, nothing. And our ladies stood strong and they said, we are not following you. We are not going to go down your path. We know history repeats itself. They asked the Ben Ish Chai, how do you know that the generation that you are in is a generation where Melech HaMashiach is to come? How do we know that this is it? This is the end of days. I don't need to offend anybody. Chas v'shalom, please. This is only the Torah for the purpose of Torah. He says when you see two things, you see young soldiers die in the battlefield, our young Jewish soldiers, and number two, when the mothers and daughters walk the streets not modest. That's when you know that you have a generation that is very close to Melech HaMashiach coming. It's very scary. So meaning, once again, what does the Ben Ish Chai base the Geula on once again? Tzniut. If the tzniut is there, I had a girl that called me up a few months ago crying to me. It's early morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. On my way to college, she's calling me crying. What happened? She goes, Rabbi, why is it the biggest person in my life? When I try to do something good, doesn't support me. I said, what are you talking about? She goes, last night we had a party, and I heard your lecture, and I got inspired. I wanted to be tzniut, and I put on something more modest for the wedding. And my mother sees me walking in the house. She says, what happened? Your grandma? You're a young girl. You're at your prime. Come on, no? You want the guys to get married to you, right? She goes, what am I supposed to do? She tells me. What do you tell a girl like this? Crying. My mother, who should be my role model, the other way. And then we wonder why she comes home, with Johnson or Jackson. And he goes, oh, that's why. All right, now we know why. Because sometimes we are the ones that write their own future with our own hands. Number 3, there's a halakha that a man cannot sell a piece of land without consulting with his wife first. If the husband comes home and tells the wife, I sold it, she says, sold what? I sold the land. She goes, you can Papa Yui, it's legal in this house. Go back out and nullify it. Get it buy it back. Okay, buy it for double the price. I said no. Just all right. When Hashem came to Klal Yisrael, he wanted to give him the Torah was like his karka, his land. I have to go to the wife, the ladies, and ask them for permission. Ladies, what do you say? Moshe Rabbeinu, go talk to the ladies. Ask them, do they like what they hear in the Torah? And the lady says, yeah, it sounds good, Oh, it sounds good. Good. Now we're going to give it to the men. But you signed off, right? Yes, signed off, sell the property. Good. So how can a lady come later on and tell me, Rabbi, I hate my husband learning. I don't let him go to learn. How can you say that? You signed off already by Har Sinai. We were all there. All our neshamot were there. We all signed off already. Can't go back on your signature now. It's a star. It's a valid document that Hashem is holding in his hand. If the Torah is not in Shemaim, it's with us, that means the woman signed off on it first. That means, again, you ladies are so important that none of this starts, none of these yeshivot, none of the rabbis, nothing, no future of Klal Yisrael. If you ladies are not signing off on the next step for the men. And the next one, and the last one is that it's the woman's job, and she's the only one that's good at it, to instill the love for Torah in her children's heart. She's the only one. The Ramban, the Igeret Ramban, famous song that we all know, Shema Beni, Musar Avicha, Ve'al titosh Torat Imecha. What does it mean, your mother's Torah? Doesn't the father learn all day long? Doesn't the father go for a couple of hours a day to learn? That is learning. But mommy is the one that pumps the life into the children. Because when the kids ask mommy, where's daddy? Went to that rabbi again. That's it. That's all the kid needed to see. That rabbi, that afirist. I got it. Okay, good. That's it. But when mommy says, Abba went to class, you know how amazing it is, and she starts dancing and she hops on the table. When there's a sale by her favorite store, she's jumping like crazy. And she's all nice to her husband. She cooks him the best dish. Why can't she do the same thing when he goes to learn? Also cooking the best dish, dress up very nice for him, make a party out of it. At the end of the day, he's going to get you what Hashem promised you. But the only way you're going to get that promise is if the husband's going to learn. So you need him in order to get you there. So how can a woman put him on a leash and say, oh, here, good doggy, here, catch the biscuit. Sit over here. Next to me. But that's what they want at the end of the day. And then they wonder, Rabbi, my life is so bad, my shalom bayit is horrible. What do you want? If you keep him in the place where they have a chance to fix him, what do you think is going to happen to the guy? He's going to revert. Or he's just going to stay the same loser that he was. He'll not change. That's why Ramban is saying, Torah Imecha, the mother's Torah, the love of Torah that mommy gives. It's the mommy's role. There's a story that I came across yesterday that there was a mother who, all of her family, the father, the sons, all of them Talmidei Chachamim. So they asked the mother, what did you do? What zechut do you have that your son and your husband are Talmidei Chachamim? She says, I have a rule in my house. Whenever they were holding a sefer, wherever they were holding learning, whatever it is, they're learning, Torah, I never ever intervened. As much as I needed their help, I stood quietly. The moment they lifted up the newspaper, I said, I need your help. Amazing. So they knew that for mommy, Torah is the most important thing. It's Kodesh Kodashim. You don't touch that. It's the Holy of Holies. You don't touch that. But when it comes to newspaper, games, Monopoly, I know. I need your help now. I got to peel the potatoes that you owe me. 3 weeks. You get to work. Now, I know you ladies are thinking, but the husband's always going to, do me a favor. You'll see right away if the guy wants to learn or not. If he opens up the sefer and he falls asleep, you know he doesn't like to learn. So right away, then you have a reason to say you're not helping me at all. But if you see the guy truly is passionate about Torah, if you have a child, like Haimoff, his mother was very hesitant to bother him because as a child, all he did was learn. He didn't go outside with his friends and play ball. All his mind was occupied with us. So if you have a child like that in your home, you're going to let him clean the toilet? Really? This guy's going to go and save people's lives in the future and change Klal Yisrael. Give it to your daughter instead. Give it to Guadalupe, as we mentioned. Give it to her. Bothering. Let him sit and learn. Haimoff once came home to his son-in-law, I think it was Rav Toledano, and he saw him holding a screw in his hand. He's trying to fix a hinge on the door. He says, what are you doing? He says, I'm fixing. He says, you want me to give you money? Go hire a handyman. Let him do it. This 5-10 minutes you're wasting Torah time. What are you doing? It's better to pay than to waste time from learning Torah. That was Rovadia's thing. I know it's hard to find a guy like that nowadays. Maybe that he's lazy, not that he has to learn Torah, but separate topic in itself. So when a child comes home and says, Mommy, I scored a goal today in soccer. And we won the game. And mommy picks him up and she's, dancing with him in the living room. The child will always want to keep doing that. Why? Because he gets that attention from mommy. He wants that. At the end of the day, he knows mommy's going to throw him up in the air, give him the best treats. So why is that when he comes back home from yeshiva, we don't even pay attention to the fact that he learned with Rabbi today? The fact that he spent a couple of hours in yeshiva today. Do you know what it means to sit? Look at the men, how they sit in class for 45 minutes. ADHD, they need their phone every 2 seconds. Think about it. Men and women alike. You have a child who's sitting in class and you're telling him, behave quietly, with no biscuit, by the way, sitting quietly, don't talk, and for 3.5 hours he's listening to whatever Rabbi tells him. You think that's easy? We can't do it as adults. They can do it as kids. So the kid comes back at the end of the day, how was your day? Good. iPad, sit down. I have a lot of things to do. So that's what's important. So the iPad is more important than my mom greeting me and asking how my Torah was, how much I accomplished. It's very important. It's not enough just to go and take your son's test that he passed and got 100 on it and to put it in the folder. You got to kiss that paper. Wow, son, you got 100 on a Gemara test. Wow, amazing. I'm not saying that he should be a failure in social studies. I'm not saying that in the secular studies. The point is, what do we want our kids to become at the end of the day? If we don't know our role, then life gets boring. It's like when I talk to the young couples when they come to my office and I give them that premarital talk, and I tell them, I say, guys, you know where you guys are headed? Yeah, we're getting married. We're going to build a home. I said, wonderful. I said, but everybody else is doing the same thing. What's going to make you guys special? And you can look around. One of my Rabbi was no longer with us. Maybe the rabbi could attest to this. Okay? When he was alive, he told us that 90% of couples are not happy. 90. Okay, this was going back over 10 years ago that he told me this. Fast forwarding now, I think it's probably 93%. And with all the Shalom Bayit lectures, not getting any better. Why? Because we are coming to the Shalom Bayit classes. We are letting the husband and wife know that they married complete opposites of people that are miserable and are horrible, and they lack the skills to be husband and wife. And we say, good night, fix yourselves. That's it. Kaddish. What happened? But what about the tools? How do I be a better husband? How do I be a better wife? What do I do? What's my role? What's my goal? They don't give that to us. So what do you think is happening on the way home? You think they're back in love when they're fall in love again when they're driving home? No, they're not. The rabbi spoke about you tonight. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Rabbi was all about you tonight. He's probably going to sleep in a car that night. You know, she's sleeping at home, and we didn't get anywhere. But when you have classes like these, and you have classes like those, which the men should be attending on a consistent basis, that gives them the tools to be better people. He could be talking about a topic that has nothing to do with marriage, and it still will affect them. Why? Because when you learn Torah, you start to become more aware of your life, and you start to say, wow, am I really doing the right thing? Rabbi Yitzhak Yosef, the chief rabbi in Israel, recently spoke to a bunch of people that were just becoming. And he said to them that one of the best ways that you can see if a person is God-fearing is by the amount of questions they ask you in halakha. If a guy asks you questions, Rabbi, this is mutar, this is asur, right? Like the ladies chat we have, and many ladies chat, the kashrut chats, so many questions. Mutar, asur. That is a sign that that person is working on the fear of God. Because why do you care? Oh, you care because you don't want to upset Hashem. You don't want to put Hashem down. So if a husband comes to learn and he develops a fear of Hashem, he says, wow, this is the way.
iPhone, please mute yourself.
Now you guys know I don't do Zoom. Okay.
Sorry, Rob.
It's okay, don't worry. Okay. So when the husband comes home and he says, I have a new perspective on life, he looks at his wife, he says, wow, this is the daughter of Hashem. I was the gardener, the rabbi said. I got to know my place. I got to treat her with respect. Because if I talk down to her, he sees it. If I mess around, he sees it. If I break things, he sees it. If I'm not there for her or for the kids, he sees it. Wow. That automatically, even without any special skills, it changes him. But he can't do it. He's that Porsche that we spoke about without the engine. Who's going to be his engine? Who's going to refill his tank every single day? You know. The ladies of our generation, you are the heroes of our generation. But again, we need to know our role. What is our role? What do we do? And we're telling you here what your role is. Your role is to make a family that has a goal. Like I tell my couples, you need to get married with a goal. What are you trying to accomplish in 10 years from now? What are you trying to accomplish with your children? We're all sending our kids off to schools every day. Some of them make the choice afterwards to send the kids to colleges and careers and professions, which I'm not speaking about. But look at where the children who took their college careers and their professions, where they end up, and people that, even if they take their professions, but they always have Torah on their side, where do they end up? How does their life look like? I tell my son, my 8.5-year-old son, he tells me, I want to be a hotel member, I want to be an officer, I want to be this. I said, Jonah, you could be whatever you want. But the first things first, you got to know how to learn Torah. After that, you could do whatever you want. But you need to be a Ben Torah first. You need to be able to open up any Gemara. And when you should do that, I'll walk you to the hotel station. I'll sign you up. Why? Because if he tastes the sweetness of the Torah, and if I'm gambling correctly, and my wife and I can instill the love of Torah into him, he says, I love this candy. Why would I change the channel? It tastes good. It's like a guy loves his mom's cooking. It's very hard for him when he gets married. 25 years he had his mom's cooking. He doesn't want to change to somebody else's cooking. So when he makes that first sour face after Shema Brachot is done, she says, I'm calling the rabbi. He said I should call you. Oh, stop, time out. Whoa, 1 second. Take it easy on the guy. 25 years, he had the same burnt tzaddik. So you didn't get it. Big deal. It's not the end of the world. Understand where he's coming from. Cater to his needs. What's your role? Your role is to not deflate him. I'm here for you. It's okay. I got it. Tell me how you like it. That's why my wife tells the girls, you should call his mom. Say, Mom, how does he like this? How does he like that? Ask her for advice. These are simple things. I'm going to call my mother. Yeah, no way. We're going to hate each other. She'll think I'm sure. I'm a little loser. And we don't. Okay, so let's see how that goes. Let's see where your ego takes you. Let's see. The husband's going to start doing takeout every night. So what did you gain? You lost him. And we know when a woman's husband doesn't taste her cooking, You might as well take the pot, put it on her head. That's exactly the same equivalence. So I put all that energy into it. So if you're going to do it right. If you're going to be a wife, do it right. If you're going to be a mother, do it right. And that's why I said in the beginning of this class, this is not enough in one class. This is not a one-time thing. There has to be many more classes and shiurim, and the woman should put that time for themselves. Just really, it's amazing what technology can do for us. It can be the worst thing and the best thing. I don't know about you guys, but every Sunday morning I get the same notification. I get it two places. I get it on my phone and on my watch. Okay? The screen time for the week that you spend time on your phone. Right? Put that on a scale with how much time you spend time with your kids. Not getting their bags ready. No. Not getting their clothing and telling them you're late to the bus, get out. No. Not that. How much time do you spend with them during the week? Then you gotta calculate how much time you spend time with your husband. How much time do you spend talking to him? When he comes back from learning, I tell the girls, the same girls that told Rabbi, take my husband to learning, please convince him. I convince him. And then I see total different person in the sense that the guy's just deflated. What happened? Rabbi's class not for me. I don't know. I mean, you were so excited that I finally got you out of the house. What happened? Why are you so deflated? So I come home, like I said, he's on the couch, sleeping. I said, she doesn't wait for me. She doesn't care to ask me how was class. I come back home every time for my class, and my wife asks me the same question. Almost 10 years now. How was class? How many people showed up? I said, I'll talk to one person. I don't need to. No. That's her honor, right? She wants how many people came to listen to her husband. Okay, tell her how many people came. Okay, what did you learn? Take interest. So I feel like I'm not wasting my time. My chavruta who's learning in Israel told me that a Rav came from certain, I think it was Detroit. Came from Detroit, he was Rosh Hashiva, he was also a marriage counselor. He came to Israel and he told them about the divorce rate that went up during COVID and after COVID. Right? Skyrocketed. So we think because they were next to each other all day long. That's not the reason why. The answer is that a man is by nature a giver. He's a giver. He loves to give, right? That's a man. A woman is a receiver. This generation, everything reversed. That's why women are burning out by age 30. What happened to you? I gave too much, right? I can't do it. Rabbi, my marriage is ending. Well, from the beginning of the marriage, that's what happens. You guys should have got your roles right, and he should have been a giver, and you're a taker. Balance everything out. You have to know how to take also, you have to know how to give. Then everything will be okay. So the rabbi explained, beautiful pshat. I'm going to end off with this. He says, when the men were sitting at home during that time, they had no jobs. They had nothing to do with their life. They did not feel useful. They were not able to give their wives anything. So they became depressed with themselves. The woman hated him for not being a giver anymore. And that's where the clash started. But those who had Torah, and I could tell you, I know that COVID didn't affect me at all. In a sense, life went on. Classes every day. The Rabbi will tell you. Zoom, classes, morning, night, learning, Seder. Nothing changed for us. Because we possess Torah, so we're never bored. We have things to do. And we're always giving our wives something. We come back at the end of the day, my wife says, what did you learn today? And that's my token to her. So the girl's thinking, okay, my husband works all day, so he gives me money today. Great, he gave me something. And so are every other man giving wives their cards and their money, and they're all miserable. But when he comes back home with something special, she goes, now you're special. And who gets the reward for that? The wife. Because everything a man will become is because of his wife. It's up to you, ladies. Don't let society tell you otherwise, that you're nothing until you finish college or you get a degree or you're making more than him. Do me a favor. You guys are already making more than him. You have bigger rewards than your husbands. That's it. Very simple. So much so that if the husband goes to learn Torah, for 1 hour he left his wife. And she thinks he's learning for an hour, but really he's talking outside to his friends, having a great time. And then he walks in 15 minutes just to catch Kaddish. His wife gets reward for 1 hour. Can you believe it? Because she says, I gave up my time with you for 1 hour, even though he's a bum for 15 minutes. He's only just got class, 45 minutes he wasted. She gets schar, reward for 1 hour. Tell me, if that's not love from Hashem, then what is? So I hope that tonight you guys, girls, got a little, I say guys, right, automatically. You girls got a new perspective on life. And Bezat Hashem, I don't want to take any more time. I want Haimoff to please say now his part, the Makeb Patish, and he's going to finish it off, the final touch. But it's been a pleasure, and I hope that Bezat Hashem, we're going to see big change in our community going forward.
Thank you, Rob.
Good evening. My crowd at home.
Hello, Rabbi.
Good evening.
Hello, Rabbi.
Good evening,
Assalamu
Rabbi.
alaikum, Rabbi.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
How are you guys doing?
Baruch
Hello.
Hashem.
Good Hashem. Rabbi, we have 55 couple or maybe more.
Full house.
Okay. The importance of a lady. Before I'll start with this. First of all, I want to thank Shlomo. I heard every word. To the point. Very, very nice. Extremely nice. I have to tell you something before I'll start. Rav Shlomo says, Ane Nashe b'may Zachia. The Gemara asking, a lady, what will take her to Olam Haba? The ticket to Olam Haba, the passport, is only Limud HaTorah. Only if you know Torah. But we have a contradiction over here because you exempt of learning Torah. Hashem exempting you. Thank you. So now, if you exempt, so how are you going to reach Olam Haba? I have to teach you something. Gan Eden also is a temporary world. When we're saying somebody that is rest in peace in Gan Eden, meaning it's another stage before Olam Haba. Gan Eden is not Olam Haba. And when the Gemara asks, Ane Nashe b'may Zachia, the ladies, what will bring him to Olam Haba? They don't have Torah, they don't. How's she going to go in? It's not an easy pass. So the Gemara says, they're taking the children to the yeshiva, right? And she is waiting for the husband to come from Limud Torah. Meaning she is part of the Limud Torah of the kids and the husband, and that will take her. Now, it's your choice to decide. Do you want to leave this world or you have a goal? I was a captain in the army. So you're talking to the captain. When we came to the course, how to be a captain, the general, he put a paper here and he made a square. He said, this is the goal. Every move that you're going to do must serve this goal. We're going to give you clothing, weapons, ammunition, food, shelter, whatever you need, you're going to get from the army. We're going to train you, we're going to do everything for you. But this is the goal. You have to wipe out these Arabs. That's it. Now imagine somebody gets ammunition and he gets also a pistol or a rifle and he decides to shoot birds. He wants to shoot birds. He likes birds. Is he normal? Why is not normal? Why? Huh? So, If you open Mesilat Yesharim, it will tell you in the first page already, in the introduction, it will tell you that our goal is Olam Haba. Okay? So if you're watching movie with your husband, or we have to go for a walk while we're having a shiur, are you serving the purpose of Olam Haba? So what are we doing? You're missing the whole point. That's why you feel, right? I'm a maid, I'm a cleaning lady. Hashem didn't bring you here for this. For this, we have the Spanish here. We'll pay, and then we'll do it. That's why you came to the world for. To cook, bring a chef. Now you know why men don't like me. Your job is far beyond this. Far beyond. You're saying a bracha every morning. We saying Baruch Atah Hashem, Shelo Asani Isha. Okay? You're not a woman. So who are you? If the bracha will be Baruch Atah Hashem, that you made me a man, one thing we know, you're not a lady. But what you are, we don't know yet. You are UFO. The only bracha that we see is you saying it every morning. She'asani kirtzono. Man feels every morning and says, Baruch Hashem, I'm not a lady. They're gonna feel good. They don't know what they're doing. Because, what does it mean? It means that I know what Hashem wants. A lady is born with genes. Every gene over here, she knows exactly what Hashem wants. Do we know what Hashem wants? Anybody home? Do you know what Hashem wants? Sometimes, just for example, a lady comes to my office and she's crying. She says, I cannot conceive. I want kids. I want. So I tell her, if Hashem will give you a kid, do you know what to do with it? What's on your mind? To feed him. If it's a girl, you're going to make a pigtails, make a picture. That's what you're going to do. I'll buy you a doll. You're far away. You're far away, B'chral. You're in a La La Land. You know, in my job for 35 years, I hear from at the morning until evening only Lashon Hara. Like Lashon Hara. Why? And ladies come, my husband is like this. 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 And it's the same music over and over again. When we started our classes in the Zoom 2.5 years ago, right? I said to the ladies, send the men to learn and we will change them. How long I was asking you to be patient with me?
7.
Did you hear that? A man answered this. 7 years I need. How many faces did you make to them? Huh? You came late, huh? Hi. Hello, hi. I heard you. You think that will change it? You think that will change it? Not in a million years. You can scream, you can cry, you can do whatever you want. Nothing will change it. Even 2 hours in my office will not change it. Will not. He has to come almost every day. My people, they're coming every day. By the way, as a side point, you're sitting in a place that there is no problem of bite, bichlal, not even one that sit on the chairs over here have a shlom bite problem. I fixed it already years and years ago. All the calls that we get is only from the outside, not from here. Because we tackled it chick-chack. And the ladies used to call me up and say, Rabbi Haimoff, please take my husband to the class. I used to come with my car. I go, peep, peep, I'm here. You have to come and say, Rabbi Haimoff, I'm dead tired. I said, die in the shiur, please, come. At least we will have a minyan, come. Imagine me, I was a chauffeur. I picked them up because I knew that's the only way to fix the problems. I'll tell you, right when your husband came to pray, you don't care, right? Actually, you like him. Yes or no? But only pray. When it comes to learn, not on my back, I need you. I need to put the kids to sleep and so on. So let me tell you an episode that happened to me. A person had 2 tefillin. You see this? 2 tefillin here. And every morning he's in the mikveh. Tzaddik v'chasid. Tzaddik v'chasid. Friday night, Friday afternoon, I get a call from a lady. She is screaming on the phone, crying, who are you? What do you want? Makara. I don't know, I can't, I'm losing my mind. I'm going to the hospital. What happened? I got scared and I hear kids. I said, oh boy. Finally, I was able to calm her down. She said, what happened? She said, I didn't finish to cook for Shabbat. The house is upside down. I said, where's your husband? He went to the mikveh. 5 kids here at home. 5 small kids, and the man is in the mikveh. I told her, which mikveh did you go? Right over here. I said, okay. I told her, he'll be home in 10 minutes. He said, but he didn't take his phone. I said, I don't need phones. I put my jacket on. My Rebbe said, it's too early for sure. I'm going to the mikveh. No, I said, I have to go to somewhere. Right there also, you don't have a rest? No rest. Okay, I walk into the mikveh. I hear somebody singing. Someone singing שירי שבת. יש מהשבת, פתאום whoop, it goes in and out. I don't know who taught him all this. All of a sudden, and now I'm coming like this on top of the pool. He doesn't see me because he is with his back to me. All of a sudden, he took a deep, and now I see only finger coming out. Because every time that the finger is out and is in, it's one more time at Tefillah. So and I see he's not coming out. I got scared of it. Mamash Kabbalist. Okay, good. Finally, he got up. He didn't see me yet. I said, okay, that's enough. I told him, Mordechai! Haimoff, what are you doing here? I said, what I'm doing here? Now I came back to my days of the army. I told him we have 2 minutes to be outside. I'll wait for you outside. I don't care how you're gonna look. Don't wipe yourself, don't do anything, come outside. You have 2 minutes to be outside. But Bach Miskin is coming out. Always get into my car. I said, why you here for? Are you out of your mind? What are you doing here? He said, I came over here because I heard Neshama Yetera. Neshama Yetera, if I will not go to the mikveh, then Neshama Yetera will not come in. I told him, you have 5 kids and a wife that lost the Neshama already. What are you talking Neshama? I told him, this is the first time I see you over here and the last time. You're not coming Friday anymore to the mikveh. I'm telling you not to come. He said, oh, you're talking to the authority. You're not coming. I'm telling you, you are asur to come to the mikveh. Then I told him, I'll see you tonight in the tefillah. After the tefillah, you're going to take me home, okay? And I have to talk to you. That's what happened when a husband don't learn. All the problems is starting there. He doesn't know what to do. You can make 55 faces. You can scream at him, call him names, do whatever you want. Did you succeed until now? If yes, please give me a call. I'll give you a medal. You're making the situation much worse. The only thing that can change a person is the Torah. Nothing else. Nothing else. So by keeping him home, it's a problem. I'll tell you why sometimes you want to keep him home. And that's a problem. Because you see that he is not sincere. When he wants to go, he goes, but when his friend calling him, so he's giving up on the shiur. My friends are more important now. A lady, she cannot take it. Either you do it, either you drop it. By ladies, there is no gray area. Men is only gray area. Ladies, either I love you, either I'll kill you. Take your pick. So, what does it mean, Ezer Kenegdo? What can you help you men with? You see, a man, if he is a man, does he need your help? It's a shame for us. My Rabbi once came to the classroom, my Rabbi, Shalom. And he said, I'm going to divorce my wife. And we lost our mind for a second. You know, the student started to cry. He said, I'm telling you, don't be surprised. I'm going to divorce my wife. Why? She's such a nice lady. He said, that's what you see. I'm living with her, not you. He pulled us by the nose for half an hour. And then he said, I'll tell you why. I cannot take her anymore. Why? She is doing so much for me. She don't let me do something for her. I can't take it anymore. So he wanted to teach us that the man's job is what? Don't be a taker. Be a giver. But this you learn only in the yeshiva, not in college. Is there a course like this in college? And with every spoon you give into your child, you're going to college. You're going to college. You have to have a degree. You're going to be a nurse, and you're going to be MP. And you're going to... I did exactly the opposite. You're not going to see college in your lifetime. As long as I'm alive. No college for you. Forget it. Forget it. You're not going to go to college. That's all. You don't know what you can do. And that's the biggest crime is. You know what is the crime? That the person is so much equipped. Hashem gave you so much, and you don't know it. This is something that I don't know. How can you sleep at night? The main thing that we are here for, the main thing, is to understand why Hashem sent us over here. What is my job? What is my mission? And I'm going to take it all the way. Do you know what hell means? Right? They told you they're going to burn you in hell. Right? Maybe somebody can explain it. How can you burn a soul? No? Any idea? Can you burn a soul? No, you cannot. It means the shame that we're going to have, the busha. We see what we miss. Hashem said, I'll send you for this. Look what you did. Wow. You don't need anything. You missed it. You had it right over here, and you missed it. Today I spoke to my mother. Lord Hashem, she's still alive and well. Lord Hashem. And every time, I'm joking with her, and she told me once, when I gave birth to you, I cried in the hospital. I said, why me? I didn't do anything yet. She said, you were the fifth boy already, and I wanted a girl. So she told me I was holding you, and tears coming there, and the nurse came and said, why are you crying? Everything is okay? She said, yeah, everything is okay. So why are you crying? Because I have a boy. So you have a boy and you cry? What, are you out of your mind? She said, no, I have already 4 boys. Now I have 5 boys. Girl I want. So I told her, how do you feel now? Are you still crying? She said, you've been you're the best boy. She said, you have to say it in every shiur of yours. Why? She said, listen to what she said. She said, if Hashem gave me a fifth boy and he knew I wanted to give, probably I had a job to do. And she, by herself, took me to the best yeshiva. She made a shul, you know, that I'll be what I am. Okay, we didn't speak about no college, no klum. She knew what she has to do. She knew. If you know what you have to do, your husband is your ticket to Olam Haba. Don't take him away from the classes. You have to be the first one to call him, ask him, take my husband. Please come take him. Because if he'll stay home, I'll tell you what he's going to do. And you all know what's going to happen, right? He gets on the phone. Yes? You talk and he, oh, I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. And can you put your phone down already? And now we're starting to fight. So why did you stay home? Here at she's gonna get scared now. Okay, that's okay. Fine. So the only way, by the way, you see all these books? You see all this? This is only a little Shabbat. There is hundreds of thousands of books. And all the Torah that we learn now is the Torah of Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva taught Rabbi Baal HaNes, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, Rabbi Yehuda Bar, all the Gdolim were the Talmidim. The 5 students that Rabbi Akiva had, the Torah is from there. But when Rabbi Akiva saying, my Torah and your Torah, everything belong to, meaning all of us today learning Torah of Rachel, not Rabbi Akiva Torah. Rabbi Akiva said it from his own mouth. He said, "It not belong to me. She is the motor behind me. She sent me to learn. She wanted me to learn. She sacrificed 24 years. Can you imagine 24 years? Could you imagine 24 years? Like a live widow. Nobody asked how she managed. She had kids, no? Parnasa, food, not to the agenda. The Gemara don't mention it. How she survived. The father disowned her. But she decided, my husband go to learn and he will be a person. And he became, what a woman can do, wow. The problem is, my problem is, and I'm saying it many times in the classes of Chinuch, Hashem will not give you a child which is a difficult one if you're not able to take care of him. Every lady over here should know that. Hashem will not give you a husband like that if you cannot deal with him. But you're not using the right tools. That's why you cannot communicate with him. When he'll come here and we're going to tell him how many sins he's doing at home, we going outside. Let me call Rabbi Haimoff to see if it's kosher. Rabbi Haimoff, I'm by the store. Chazak u'baruch. Okay, so what do you want from me? Is this and this and this? It's kosher. It's only maximum midrabana. Maximum. The husband, if he doesn't talk nice to you, like he ate pork today. So I'll take a person, I'll sit him down, if he knows what I'm talking about, I'll pull my book out and tell him, you know, today you ate 15 steaks pork. That's big. Like a prime cut, you know, okay. By the restaurant, heavy ones. And if he called you names, bar minan. So then is over after there are so many averot. I have a list. That's not the place now. But they should know what they're doing, but it's not his fault. If you're holding him at home, right? What can you do? How can you change? I promise you this much. What him and me can do, no therapist will do. I promise you, I'll sign you a paper with my experience. I have over some long experience, and I have a daughter. She is a therapist. She is with a license and everything else. Okay, fine. She took after me. Good. But we will get to the neshama of a person. The therapist is not able to get to the subconscious. He can deal with your conscience. Subconscious is only us. The Torah will get into the subconscious. I dealt with people over here, abusers. Abusers sat next to me for a few years. He became a bubale. He became a person. Now he has with his wife 7 kids, and few of his kids, I was the privileged one to marry them off. On the verge of a divorce, I told his wife, before he do what, let me deal with him. Send them to me. Okay. And I set him down next to me. Used to be my driver also. So I can talk to him also while he drives. He became a person. I don't recognize him. There's no other medicine. So not your faces will not make it. You're going to threaten him. It's not gonna. I'm not going to the mikveh. He doesn't care. So you can say, okay, I look outside. You dealing with a man. You cannot fight with a man. Men born to fight. Either he'll fight over here, either he'll fight there. Right? With force, nothing will go. Send them to the yeshiva. We're going to make him, you know, like did you see once an Indian with a flute and the snake is coming out. That's what we're going to do to him. Imagine. And Pitom, you're going to see a different husband. So if we want to add another class, another this, imagine your son one day coming from yeshiva and say, Abba, I don't know the Gemara. Abba say, I also don't know. Why you don't know? I will bury myself. So the son automatically, he will not respect it. Father is that. When the son is coming home and he says, Abba, I need help with the Gemara, I said, let's go. The child feels, oh, Abba knows something, Baruch Hashem. The child feels good. Oh, yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. You don't know what it, Mamash is a chain reaction. Chain reaction. But Ima is an Ima. Chacham Ovadia had a Rabbi that was also the Rabbi of my grandfather, Rabbi Ezra Atiyah. They were in the same yeshiva, Porat Yosef. Abreza Atiye had no father. Ima raised him by herself. Every night, especially Friday night, she sat there making sure that he will not fall asleep. He said, Ima will sit with you, you will learn, I will watch, and everything. And she didn't go to sleep, she wasn't old already. And he sees that he's Ima Kara, he said, Ima, it's time to sleep. No, I'm fine. So important. So every time, and the Chafetz Chaim too. The Chafetz Chaim on the open grave of his Ima, he took the Tehillim of his mother, he said, don't look at me like this. I'm not self-made person. My mother made me. You see this book? He said? My mother prayed for me every day that I should be Talmid Chacham. My mother did it to me. No. And I will tell you, my mother made me also. The way I am who I am is my mother. Never scream, never yell, no threatening, no this, no that. And I was a troublemaker. With Chochmot Nashim. Not Chochmat Nashim. Chochma is one Chochma. So my Melech says Chochmot Nashim. Ladies have many Chochmot. They knows how to, if you want to melt your husband, oh, you do it very nicely, right? Like you're doing Ispandut next to me. Oh, come on. If you want to. But a man to respect you, now when I'm going to a wedding, when I was much younger, I used to be happy, jumping up and down. Today I'm going to a wedding. My heart is the kartukur, as we say. What's going to happen over here? I don't know where they're going to wind up, either in my office, either in his office. When it will take time. How long it will take. How long it will take, because they're not equipped. They don't know where they're heading to. If he will come to learn, we will tell him, hey. So to all the girls, if they are like that or not married, my advice to you, don't jump so fast. You have to make sure that this guy learning seriously, because you're going to be the only one to suffer. You're going to carry the consequence, nobody else. And you and the kids to follow. The husband is the role model of the house. Ima, she is the manager, she is the motor, she's everything. Abba is sitting down. My father never spoke to us. My mother used to say one word. If you're not going to listen to me, I'm going to tell Abba. We used to beg her, Ima, please don't tell Abba. Ima, please. And my father never raised hands on us, ever. Never screamed at us, but only as a parent, sit down. That was enough. Abba is a mother. The Torah will teach him how to be a role model for his kids and for his wife that can respect him. Everybody cries in my office, we don't have respect. How can you have respect? We have so much to talk about. He was right. One class is not going to be enough. Okay? I'll tell you something. And with this, we will end. The Shirat Hayam. After Bnei Israel said, Az Yashir Moshe Ubnei Israel et Hashira Azot, then Miriam Anevia, she took the drum, okay, and what she was singing. Natan lahem Miriam, Shiru LaHashem. Let's sing a song to Hashem, Ki Ga'o Ga'a, Sus ורוכבו רמה בים. The horse and the rider drown in the sea. We know that. We know that. What she wants to say. The question is, if the Egyptians were bad people, right? Why the horse have to drown? Hashem should have made the horses out. Let the soldiers die. Why the horses? The horses were part of the Avera, so you're going to drown also. So Miriam learned from this. She said, if over there by Averot, you partner also, the horse is a partner, even though he doesn't know he's a partner, and he drowned in the sea, imagine us, that we're going to be a partner to our husband to go and learn. Oh, what a reward we're going to get. Meaning from this, she learned something, and she learned that you're going to get all the rewards because of your husband. And this is your passport to Olam Haba. You're coming to Olam Haba? Yes, excuse me? Do you have a passport? He said, I don't have a passport, I have Easy Pass. And it goes up, okay, go inside. Why? Because your husband learned. He learned. You didn't learn. Your mitzvot, again, your mikveh, the purity of the house, the kashrut of the house, taking the kids, everything there, this will get you to Gan Eden, your mitzvot. The kids learning in the Shiva, the husband going to learn is if he's in the kollel, good. If he's coming at night time, also good. This is your passport to Olam Haba. Don't forget it. Every move that you do, that's the goal. Don't forget the army. Is it serving the goal? No. Out. We have tonight birthday. My cousin has a birthday. I don't know. Huh? The Rajeni they have. Midoraita. Does it? Is this the Rajeni will take me to Olam Haba? Yes or no? No, I cannot come. Ibi, new dogma? Not nice, my cousin, I didn't go to the birthday, but your cousin cannot help you go into Olam Haba. You're on a mission. You're on a mission. How can you? That's why you have to make a priority. When you're going to have this, your life will be very easy. To be continued. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, Rabbi.
To you, and thank you. Shlomo. Hashem ייתן לו כוח ובריאות.
Thank you,
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Shalom, Ruben.
Shalom, how are you doing?
Baruch Hashem, Baba. How are you?
Baruch Hashem, very good.
Yeah, thank you for joining me on the class. Now I get to participate.
Very good, very good.
Yeah. Rabbi, fantastic shir. Thank you so much.